Good day. Do one of these. Um, I guess it's a moment of celebration. I would probably throw confetti or something if I was a cooler person. But it is basically Surgiversary. So we're looking at a total of 365 days plus gone by. It's September 3rd, we were talking. We did the whole, here I am. And where did we end up? So we ended up 185 pounds. That's my current weight, which is pretty impressive. That's kind of what we were shooting for. I think we were looking for 100 anything, Wonderland. And last time we chatted, I was on the edge of Wonderland. So we're here. We're comfortably in that space. And I think there's a great book that's been part of the journey that talks about the bariatric mindset. I should throw the title down and if I ever redo the edits on these videos to give it to you. But it's basically, it talks about when you finally reach the end point of your weight and where you want to be, that you don't pick a single number, that it's a range. And so for me, my comfort level is that 185 to 195. I thought a little while about that, but I'll get to that later. We'll work the stats a little bit longer. So it's total 165 pounds lost. Waist size, I'm wearing a size 32 pants, and I got to tell you, I never thought that I would make it to this level. Um, and they fit. I mean, they're not like squeezing into there. They're there. I was actually able to put on my military issued basic training pants, which did fit rather snugly. I think perhaps there's something to be said for the 19-year-old body versus the 52-year-old body. Nonetheless, yeah, they went on, they fit. I could walk around in them and sit down, and I wouldn't recommend it, but it was an achievement. So that's a total loss of 165 pounds. I was told that one of the pirate friends of mine, Mr. Gibbs, that's his current weight. So I lost Mr. Gibbs. I think at one point, um, I've dated at least one girl who was 165, maybe less. There's a couple folks I know. So that's a person. They say that you've lost a person, and I guess I have lost a person. So that's cool. Um, as you well know, COVID is still in progress, and we've got all the usual shenanigans that goes with that. So it's continued to add, I think, as we talked about last time, another dimension in the struggle and what we're trying to accomplish here. Um, yeah. So what has that been like? That's been a lot of sitting around. It's a lot of been, working from home. I've done what I could to set up my snack area with all the protein bars and protein shakes and put those things within closer reach. But I've been bad on and off. There have been incidents with popcorn again, and ironically, that was the last episode that we talked about, was things that can do to my body. Um, it's definitely a gateway drug, a slider food, I think they call them. So I've been trying to avoid that. Um, let's see. Other things that have caused me some trouble. Yeah, Doritos. I was able to eat a couple Doritos. So we're fixing that by getting some of those Quest chips. Those Quest chips are really, the chili lime and the loaded taco, really solid flavor choices. And they dip reasonably well. You can't stick them in onion dip. And the onion dip, I've never gone back to the sour cream. We're completely, zero fat Greek yogurt. And that's what onion dip tastes like to me now. So potato chips still don't taste good. Hey, I had bread. I had the 647 bread, and that was a bit of a surprise because um, bread, like potato chips, didn't taste great. So that's a good. I mean, that's a win. Um, but I'm definitely. So I had my 1 year check-in with the doc, and the doc said, "You look great. Everything looks great. A lot of compliments, and that's super awesome." Funny thing is, I still see the fat person in the mirror. And I've put some stuff on the blog posts, and you can click on the links and the like. But the blog posts talks about dysmorphia or discipline and the ongoing struggle that the person that I see in the mirror isn't the person that everybody else sees. I mean, let's talk about exercise for a minute. So I think last we talked, we were going to convert the back room to do some more exercises. Well, that's happened. We've actually added one of the Concept 2 rowing machines, and I'm basically doing about 5K every other day, and about a rate of 30 strokes per minute, which is not bad. I think it's pretty aggressive, with a resistance of 7, which I hear is higher than usual, which I'm not trying to, like, be a gorilla or anything else like that. I think that was just where it ended up being comfortable. So I get a decent full body workout. It's definitely helped tone arms. It's toned abs. I thought that I saw ab muscles. I mean, I don't have a six pack or anything else like that. And I'm not going to show anybody anything because it's my own little secret. I could be a mutant. We're not sure. But there were divots in the skin. There were things that looked like some kind of definition, not, extreme. But it definitely looked weird. I hadn't seen anything like that since I joined the Air Force. If I saw it, I think I had a double take in the mirror once, at Bry's mother's place, when I was walking by, going, "Oh wow," so weird. But what other adventures? Oh yeah, and we also did a redo of the Appalachian Trail again. Blog post I put up there was pretty cool. To, like, 4 years ago, 5 years, no, I guess it was 6 years ago or more. I did a hike from Greenbrier State Park to Annapolis Rock and back, and myself and Laura, we did a trip up there. Started in the morning after some turkey bacon, did the hike, came back down, and it was basically dawn to dusk hike, or pretty darn close to it. So wasn't sure what to expect, how I was going to handle it. As it turns out, I made it to Annapolis Rock and back from 8:30 to noon 30. I was done. So that was pretty much an achievement. And I will say I was dying on the way down. The last hike down the mountain was a lot of elevation, and yeah, there was a lot there. And so I was grateful to have a walking stick. And yeah, I wrote a lot of stuff about things that I was doing on the mountain, to try to get my head together. But mostly it was a calibration test to say, okay, so new body, how does it perform? How we doing? We're also 52. We're not 45 or whatever. So, well, let's weigh that into consideration. But in general, I think it was a pretty decent experience. All that being said, the struggle remains two things really, at this point, and this is what basically the doc said. The year 1 to year 2 is where it gets tougher, because we're now in maintenance mode. We now, I won't say the honeymoon is definitely over. I think some people say the honeymoon's out 2 years, but definitely between year 1 and year 2. The first year is a gift, really. You do have to work and everything else like that, but you really get the benefit of the surgery. The weight melts off. It's a lot harder. You become a little bit more mortal this time between years 1 and 2. And the real struggle is the hunger. The hunger is very real. The opportunity to graze is very real. Reactions, I think you don't necessarily get the violent. Your body starts to get used to stuff. So at this point, sugars, like I said, Doritos, breads, probably all dangerous, because I could probably eat them without dumping, or at least not immediate, like, sensitive dumping. On the flip side, I did have some, since last we chatted, country ham, because I'm an idiot, and I remember salt. I couldn't have imagined that sugar was involved in there, so I had myself I want to say a piece this big of country ham, and I ate that and immediately dumped like the dude in Train Spotting. It was really withdrawal, shaking, sweating, the full 9, 20 minutes of pure hell. Slumped over the toilet before I finally puked and was able to move on with my life. And then I read the package, which, was a great reminder that says, hey, read packages before you stick things in your mouth, Joe. So, point taken, definitely doing that now. And, yeah. So yeah, the struggle is watching the grazing, making sure that if I am doing that kind of thing, that I keep on the straight and narrow with proteins. Proteins will still help me from going too far. And hydration, man, no joke. Because the grazing and the hunger thing, it's head hunger versus true real hunger, stomach hunger. There's a tendency to do the old habits, which we had a lot of nerves, right? And COVID. So tendency to graze, high. Tendency to not drink, high. So the real struggle. Fortunately, no issues with the real stuff that happens when you don't hydrate. Constipation becomes a real thing. Been lucky so far. Been keeping up on the meds and supplements, so that's been good. But yeah, the real struggle now is where it gets tough, and we're gonna hope that we keep at it. New clothes helps that I got that. We got a gig coming up for the first time since February in 2 weeks, and so that'll be interesting to see how we do. I know my kit, my pirate outfit doesn't fit really. None of it does. I mean, the trousers sort of do. The belt has been kind of a nice reminder. I've turned that into a sort of mark on the wall, high water mark look of things, and that's each notch that I've had to add as things have gone on. It's been a good reminder. It's been a positive, and finding the positives I think is key. I think one of the other things that's happened also is I've switched jobs, which also is a thing related to that. When you're switching jobs, making a good impression. So I got a suit for the first time in decades, and I gotta say, putting on dress clothing is really it's a different universe of knowing what your body looks like. I mean, it was good to help the dysmorphia, but at the same time, it's still surreal. It's like I'm dressing someone else, and it really felt it over the shoulders. Um, I've always been kind of a broad-shouldered, broad-chested sort of person, and I guess I still am. At the same time, I don't have the fill out of flesh, so clothes kind of hang on me at the shoulders more than they used to. So again, it was another reminder. It says, go ahead, hit the gym, Joe. Lift the weights, and do that work. So a lot of reminders everywhere that say, the fight continues. It is for a forever fight. So not motivating anybody else but myself, but giving you the real scoop on in this world is that year 1 to 2 is going to be, I'm a little scared, because it's out into the real world where you don't have these things in place to keep you from making bad choices, or the guardrails are much further apart. So you really do have to stay on top of it. I'm trying to not make myself crazy by weighing myself daily. So today was the first time in like a week, and man, I was dreading it because I'm like, I was bad this day and this day and this day, and same weight, 185. What does that mean? It means I'm going crazy in my head with respect to what I think about. Vigilance good, paranoid is bad. So that's what I'm up against. Going to be trying to do a little bit more on social media. So on Twitter, I don't know if I'll get into Instagram too much. I'm not a picture person as much. I'm better about it now that I've lost the weight. At the same time, I'm not a selfie person. But new job and an opportunity to sort of say, okay, it's a year later. It's Surgiversary time. I'm not gonna new year, new me this thing, but there is a certain element of like, well, be the person that you want to be. And so some of that, I guess, is doing social media for development work, and maybe you'll see some more posts here. But that's been the year. Been a long road. It's been a weird road. Probably blog more in the future, but wanted to get this one out there since it's been such a long time. So I guess probably see you on the other side of the gig, and see you around.